So for example, I'm quite hypermobile and I also have quite a flexible nervous system. So my hamstring length is actually quite long. I can bend forward and touch my toes, and at the same time I can go much further. And some people can't even imagine being able to be this flexible. There are lots of people that I know that can only get to maybe here, which is actually quite normal as well. So don't worry if you can only get to here. But if it starts to cause you problems and you start to get back pain because of it, then it's something you maybe do need to address. So what I would advise you to do is start to work on your neural system first, rather than thinking it's all the hamstring's fault. So in order to make your nervous system a little bit more flexible down at the bottom, just check that your lower back is relatively comfortable and pain-free, and check with your healthcare professional if you think you should do this, if you have any problems. What we're going to do is put your hands around the back of the knee, and you're going to extend the foot towards the ceiling. So you might only get to roughly here, say, if you are tight. And then we're going to pull the toes and the foot towards ourselves, which is going to bring some tension on. And we're going to point the toes away, which is going to take the tension off. While we're here, try not to be too hunched up. Try to let your head come down and try and let your chin relax down into your neck. So see if you can maybe support the head a little bit better so that you can be here for roughly 30 seconds as you're doing your pulling on and off, on and off, on and off. And this should be bringing the tension into the calf or the hamstring or the buttock, or you may even feel a little bit of something in your back. Because we're stretching the nervous system, and the nerves come from the spine down your leg to create the sciatic nerve, and then all the other peripheral nerves lower down into the feet. Okay, so that's one way to start mobilising your nervous system. If you want to progress that stretch, then you're going to continue to try and take that leg up to the sky, and you could also take the other leg out long, because you're widening and stretching further the nervous system. So that would be a progression as well. Eventually, hopefully, you would manage to be able to get your leg more toward the sky, more toward the ceiling, and just keep supporting with the hands around the back of the knee. Sometimes people try to do it without the hands, but you want it to be passive and a little bit more relaxed so that it does improve over time. Make sure you do the other leg as well, so beginning by placing the foot down, bringing the hands round the back of the knee, and then taking the leg up. Pull the toes and point, pull the toes and point. Whilst you're doing this exercise, make sure you're not curling and lifting your bum away. So it is a tailbone down exercise, and we don't want to be flexing in the lumbar spine hard. So just finding that middle point where your lower back feels relatively comfortable and centred, and then we're taking it into our on and off, on and off. If you want to progress that stretch, you can do it immediately, or you can slide that leg away maybe after a week or two, just to see if you can improve that. I'm using my core quite hard here, so I am breathing out and pulling down my belly button, which is helping me to stabilise across my spine and not pull the spine into any uncomfortable positions. Well done. So that's your first way of beginning to stretch out your nervous system a little bit. And it is known as a neurodynamic slider, or a flossing exercise that we sometimes call it that, because we floss the nerve through the tunnel, and so the nerve becomes less sensitive and the nerve also will adapt and lengthen. Once you feel like you've done those flossing exercises, then you might want to do a pure hamstring stretch. And so more of a pure hamstring stretch is just staying there sustained and holding it there. You might want to use a door frame to help yourself stay here for a bit longer, and your knee might want to quiver, and you need to really try and push that knee and keep that knee strong so that we're using our thigh muscles and quadriceps against the resistance of the hamstring. So this is a holding the exercise in position, just on that stretch the whole time long, holding it for at least 30 seconds and then repeating it maybe 3 times and doing both legs. And don't forget, you can use the sofa, or you can use a wall, or you can use a door frame, and you can choose you would have your leg through the door and you'd have your leg up the door frame, holding it here for as long as you can bear, 30 seconds. Well done, and then release. So that's 2 ways of stretching out your hamstrings. One using the neurodynamic mobiliser and the other one using the hamstring stretch prolonged. The other version you would recognise is the reaching down and forward exercise, which is going to put some pressure into both hamstrings at the same time, and it's going to ask those glutes to get a little bit longer. You have to make sure that you don't have any disc problems in your back, otherwise that could also make your back worse. So just be careful with the forward reaching exercise. If you want to really go to town and stretch out some buttock muscles and glutes, then I'll show you a piriformis stretch in the next video.